Alright, you guys ready?
I'm ready. Fuck me.
Alright, do you want to do an intro or do you just want to wing it?
Um, I
Let's
hope.
watch the video.
Let's just watch the
This
video.
is not professional. This is not a professional channel.
Alright,
No.
I'm probably gonna pause it a few times, so let me know if you guys want to pause it if you have a point on something.
Got you.
Alright, then.
Alright, let's go.
I have to start this video off by talking about how much I love Rivals 1. Rivals 1 is my favorite game of all time, or at least one of them.
Oh boy, that's a great sign.
You're wrong. Incorrect.
The only real recurring series that there is in that space is Smash, and people don't really experiment with the format. But Rivals was different. The game is so much faster and snappier than every other platform fighter. It feels a lot like anime fighters like BlazBlue and Guilty Gear in the way that it keeps the action flowing and minimizes downtime.
I can see that comparison, that does kind of make sense.
Listen, play Stardust Valkyrie, man. It gonna change your life.
April 26th through the 28th was the open beta period for the game, and as a backer for the game, I got my chance to try it out.
You know what's so funny? I'm a backer in this game, and I do not care about playing the game. I want it fucking released.
I don't even think the game itself is necessarily bad, and a lot of people seem to be enjoying it, but I don't think this game feels like Rivals. I don't tend to mind when games make major changes to the formula. Street Fighter and Guilty Gear do pretty much every installment, and those are fine. But Rivals somehow manages to strip away what made the first game accessible and fun. Furthermore, I truly think it fails to expand on the formula in meaningful or interesting ways.
Well, those are big points. Alright, what does this game do wrong? We gotta hear it.
I would argue that for accessibility, Rivals 2 does more, because it gives you more stuff to actually like play with the game, I guess. But I don't know.
Define accessibility.
I guess so. I guess accessibility would have to just be defined on what you think it is. Like, is it a good pick up and play game, or is it like because a lot of people can just, or like a lot of people that have like problems playing with like their hands or something like that can just do it, like in a wave dash is easier sort of sense. But I guess you'd have to just say it rather than just imply it.
Yeah, you would have to define it. And when I clarify, when I'm going like, oh no, what's the point? I'm thinking like, I'm more just like, usually whenever you hear people complain about the new changes in Rivals, it's usually like, oh, let me guess, you imagine it's going to be like the same complaint that gets brought up all the time. You're like, oh boy, here we go, this song and dance again.
Before I get into the issues, I want to go over a couple of things that I do really like about this game. I've heard mixed things about the online, and that's mainly because of the server-based nature of them. And yeah, if you're not close to a server, your mileage may vary, but for me, the netcode is the best it's ever been in any platform fighter. Everything feels great with absolutely no lag whatsoever.
I didn't get a chance to play the netcode, but everyone says it's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't played either just because I want the full release. So if it's good, I'm just gonna hear them out. I think it's probably good.
And visually, I think the game looks nice. All the stages look better than ever, and the characters look great and move really well. I'm not too big on Zetter's redesign, but I understand that it might not have transferred well to 3D.
Also, I agree, though, I'm not a huge fan of Zetter's redesign, but I mean, oh well.
As in visual or gameplay-wise?
Visual.
And speaking of the stages, all of them are great. There's some fun layouts like Treetop having a swinging platform, and the last round variations are cool too. I didn't think I was going to like the music as much, because it felt weird that it was still chiptune-esque when the game was moving away from that, but I was pleasantly surprised. The tracks all blend the FM synths with the more natural instruments for an absolutely fantastic sound.
Yeah, I think it's just alright. I feel like I need to like really listen to it again before I think that it's pretty good, because I think Rivals OSTs is already good.
It's kind of weird that they're not using the new music for the advertisements that much.
You don't trust the process, Dan.
I started to enjoy my time with it a lot more, and while I'd still take Rivals 1 over it any day for reasons we'll get into, I would still play Rivals 2 over any official Smash game any day of the week. I think this is important as a lot of my takes from this point on might be a little bit more negative, and I want to remind you that this game is still good fun, even to me. I just think that it's going to be more critical looking at it as a sequel to a game I absolutely love and want to see more of.
It does. It's probably one of the best looking non-Smash platform fighters.
I would say so, unless you put Combo Devils in there, yeah.
Yes.
I think the easiest thing to start with is the elephant in the room. The Rivals series invented one of the greatest defensive mechanics of all time, and while it's seemingly minute and invisible as a spectator, it defines the feel of Rivals and is a mechanic that I think makes the game feel great at all levels.
The second I heard this complaint, I was thinking like, okay, it's gonna be Drifty Eye.
In the Smash franchise, you can alter the trajectory an attack sends you in by holding a direction while in hit stun, known as DI or Directional Influence. This system is great, and allows you a chance to escape a combo or survive a hit with good thinking. While in hit stun, you can alter your trajectory slightly over time, meaning you maintain some control over your character at all times. This lets you feel in control of your character at all times, and making getting hit with a long combo feel like your fault. I know this probably seems like a technical thing, but it's really not. Even at the lowest levels of play, a player's natural fight or flight response will cause them to hold in or out, and even if they don't understand what's going on, they'll feel more in control of their character. This is one of the best mechanics to ever grace platform fighters and makes Rivals flow much better than the competition. Rivals 2 does not have this feature. This may seem like a small nitpick, but for reasons we'll get into later, this change magnifies all the issues with this game 100-fold. It takes agency away from the player and makes you feel much less in control of your character. The combos feel very one note and tend to be quite repetitive, as juggling with the same move over and over is not only viable but often optimal. The game wouldn't be perfect, but it would feel a lot better if Drifty Eye returned, and I also think it's one of the few changes that could actually happen.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I think Drifty Eye is either you love it or hate it.
In my opinion, this complaint reminds me a lot of whenever people play, like, say, Super Metroid, and they love the multiple directional aiming, and then they go back to regular Metroid and realize it's not there, and they're just like, my god, where is it? I missed this quality of life feature. But yeah, I know there's more of a dynamic behind it.
But, okay, so here's my thing about it, right? And Waffleman said it best. It's going to be a like it or you don't. But the problem that I have with this is that it's more so of like, it's supposed to make you more feel like you got hit and you're in character, or you're more in tune with your character because you have agency over it, right? My thing is though is that if they didn't have shields and ledges, I would agree with you. But the problem is that because we have shield and ledges now what you have to do in order for you to know you got hit is that you let go of shield, or you let it do too much of it. Beforehand, because we had a lack of it, you now needed to master that. So it honestly should be on you now because you got hit with shield. You have a shield now. You have a ledge now. There's a lot of things you can do, and it's like, I don't know. It only seems like long combos now, only because when you got hit, you can get away with it. But now you have so much defense on you that if you get hit with a long combo, it should honestly probably be your fault. It actually is probably just your fault because now we have these options here. So it's very weird because it's like, and I've already said it before, if it was just Rivals 1, yeah, I get you. But the problem is you have answers now, and you should be using those defensive tools. And it actually should be easier for you because now you can just be like, oh damn, I should be shielding more. Like I think it's easier in Rivals 2 to know what you should be improving on than in Rivals 1, to be honest. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, in my opinion, speaking as someone who's more of a casual Rivals player, like, many of these complaints tend to focus way more on the balance for the competitive community, which, a good amount of Rivals is competitive. I acknowledge that. And, I get that. It's a small thing you wish was there. I do agree. I wish Drifty Eye was there, but it's like, oh well, it is what it is. It's like when people complained about the buffer system in Ultimate. It's like, yes, I wish it was different, but it doesn't ruin the experience for me that it's not there, so, oh well. It is a fun, I would even say it's even a fun mechanic, like, casually speaking, to still have that extra drift, but, again, like, the game, like, has other features around that, though, and, it's not the end of the world thing.
I also wish it was, I also maybe wish it was easier, or maybe it was a different mechanic, like in Rushdown Revolt, right, you have burst. I can imagine, like they do that in Rivals 2, where it's like, it's not burst, you get hit, and then, like, maybe it's, like, push block in the air, where, like, you push someone back, and, like, that's, like, the one time you get it, or something.
Yeah.
Rivals 2 also homogenizes a lot of mechanics from other platform fighters, namely Smash Bros. Ledges, shields, and knockdowns all influence the game in ways that I don't really think it needed. I have been a shield hater since day one. I just think they're a bad defensive mechanic that isn't satisfying for either side of the interaction, and one of the biggest places that platform fighters need innovation. And in Rivals 2, they still don't feel great. I'm not going to speak on them too much because I have my own biases, but it definitely feels very one-dimensional. There's nothing like high-low blocking or side-switching or any sort of interaction to keep the player engaged, and it's just a case of don't get grabbed and punish moves if they're unsafe on shield. It also drastically slows the game down. In Rivals 1, characters are quite scary with how they can punish a mistake with lightning-fast kill moves, but with shields, the game can slow to a crawl if both players want to be defensive.
So, okay. So and again, I don't say problem, but like, my thing about this is more so about like, it's just, you have to think about it of what the game already has, you know? Like, the reason why they added these things and the reason why they added these things to Rivals of Aether 2 is because they want more people to actually play the game. And like, a lot of the criticism of Rivals 1 was, and they've already talked about it, that, you know, people were getting shit out of luck, get like 80% and then they die. And it gets really bad if you're trying to learn the game and like you're trying to slowly crawl into the competitive space, and you have to deal with that. It's a thing that a lot of people don't want to happen. So like, them giving this to you is like, it makes sense, because you know they want casuals to really get in and to have a better opportunity to grow. My problem is that they said slow the game down, and it's like, the problem is that I play Smash 4, I play Stardust Valkyrie. Because I have a shield, it's more so that my opponents now have to be wary about me. Like, they can't just do an aerial and just like be safe for the most part and do micro movement. Like, I could bait them simply for the fact that I have a free access to shield, you know? So it's like, is it slow because you actually have to think about a little more than just the aerials that you do? I don't know. I would rather have that pace of a back and forth, and then you wait for the one moment in order to hit someone with an aerial to get your combo. But I don't know. I don't feel like I feel like slow isn't bad. I feel like it's good, honestly.
This seems like it's very much coming from the niche of constantly like moving around, pressing buttons, hitting your opponent equals good, equals interactive gameplay. It doesn't seem like they're really valuing footsies, that kind of slower gameplay. And I don't agree at all. Like, I've definitely come to appreciate footsies more and more as it's been developed in certain games.
Like, it's interactive as in like you have to do different things in order to check it, but it's But I don't know. We've already talked about this in the podcast. We like footsies more. I don't know why we're getting into this.
Well, it very. But this person, what's their name? Zetta. I think the whole argument is, well, there's occasionally footsies, there's slower moments, and I don't like that. Like, that's just the vibe I'm getting.
Well, if they don't like it, they don't like it. But it's like I think it's really good. I think you should try it out. Being a little slow and actually determining one big move for a punish is pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. The issue is I don't see you filtering. I don't see Zelta filtered in saying okay, yeah, it's just how I prefer. It's like, no, this is not Rivals. Rivals is not footsies. That's just the opinion I'm getting from that. But anyway, back to the video.
Having your game be fast doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Also, I'm glad knockdowns in here. I never liked Rivals didn't have knockdowns.
Yeah,
it is so weird to hit someone in Rivals and they bounce. I think that's the weirdest thing in the world.
Especially good because Waffleman has a flame set like me.
Despite how drastically the game's system mechanics have changed, the characters returning from Rivals 1 are almost the exact same. In terms of moveset changes, Krag's neutral special can cargo throw now, Claren's neutral B is a charge attack that covers a large distance, Rana's forward smash is a projectile when it's charged, and Maple's tether now has a new input the game obnoxiously puts a HUD element on the screen for.
You don't like HUD elements?
Minor complaint. This is, you know what this is? This is exactly like the Irate Gamer Mario 2 review. He complains how slow it takes for the star to get to you, then slows down the footage to exhibit this. It's like, what the hell?
I think it's because I think it, and again, I don't know their thought process, but here's what I'm thinking. I think they don't like it because it's like a formatted A and B rather than like Smash is like Smash Ultimate, where it's just like an icon of what it is. Like it does look a little weird for the fact that it's like an A and B button rather. Yeah, like it looks a little weird. Maybe that's what they're talking about, but I don't know. Maybe it should be like a grass icon or something like that rather than be formulaic.
Maybe, like, it's a minor complaint at the end of the day, but it's like, it's such a weird, I don't know.
This is pretty straight to the point. I don't think much casual people would understand it without this little icon at the bottom.
Oh shit, that's actually pretty true. I didn't think about that.
Because Nasby 2 has the same thing where it has like EX, or it's like slime plus attack when you fill up your whole bar.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. So that's probably why it's like that.
More obtuse like moves like that. I think you probably should tell people how to do it without need to watch a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Wow, Waffleman is just spitting out facts across the screen. I didn't even think about that. That's actually makes sense. I did not think about that.
Yeah, definitely clarity to a new player is very important, especially in this game genre.
I may be missing one or two, but the point is that most of these characters have had almost nothing done to their base kits. Obviously moves have been tweaked and adjusted, but there's very few actually drastic changes to the game. I was really curious to see what they do to Raster, a character who I personally think is one of the weaker designs in the first game. He's an awkward combination of Jigglypuff and Meta Knight with a Mach Tornado-esque move you never see at high level, and one of the only gimmicks in the game that doesn't interact with the opponent in any way. And I'm happy to report they changed absolutely none of that in Rivals 2.
Isn't his down B a command grab now, or is that not in the game?
Yes, It is I think it's a command. I think it's either a command or just a grab, but it is different in that game. Okay, so this might be the first hot take. Right? I think they're correct on this. Now hold up. Hold up for one.
Is this the new Olympia?
No. Okay, listen. Okay, so the argument could be the fact of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe you just need to add a little bit of flair, like, the Claren down B, stuff like that. And if you add just a little bit, it doesn't matter if it's not a big change, because it'll be enjoyable and it works anyway. Like, I can understand people who say that. But to the second part, I actually agree entirely. I kind of, like, it would make sense for Zetta Burn and, like, Claren's moves to, like, be a little there. But I really do feel like Raster's thing should have changed a little bit. Why is it still horizontal? I would rather it be like an Olympia sphere, where instead of just being like in a straight line, it's like a sphere cone of wind that both players might be able to use, but you use it more because it's your element and you get a lot more properties. And maybe you think about it like that, like you can, like, imagine like you do a windstorm. It's like a circle of wind. And now when you do the command grab of someone and you put them in the air, now they put in like a tumble animation where like they spin into it so that you can combo more. Like, there's a lot of things that you could do, and like a lot of more creative things that you could do for at least some of the characters in this game, and it's not there. And I understand, because that shit takes a while and that shit takes work and effort. I get you, but I feel as though some of these characters could have been changed to have some good shit. Now, maybe other people can disagree, but I'm with you, man. I'm with you on this. I agree. I feel like some of them probably should have been changed to make them a little bit better. Or not better, but a little bit more interesting.
I didn't play very much Rasper in Rivals 1, and I didn't get a chance to play him in Rivals 2, so I'm not even like affiliated with what was going on with his changes. So everything I was going off of though was like all the info I have though is just going off of this video, and I find it so funny. He literally said that like Raster, I don't understand why Raster didn't get changed. Now, I understand that people liked Raster in Rivals 1. Well, there you go. That's why they didn't change him. It's like you literally just answered your own question. That's,
If it ain't broke,
If it ain't broke, then don't change it. However, I agree with them. I kind of wish Raster had a little bit more stuff. You know, it's whatever. I think it's probably more of a taste thing. But like, I agree with them. I agree with them at least on this.
it's ultimately like the whole discussion around character redesigns, where it's
Yeah.
kind of a difficult tightrope where you want to appease the old mains, but also want to keep the character fresh.
Dan,
Yeah.
if you don't fucking change Olympia, I'm going to go to Mother Aether itself and bomb it. You better change Olympia right now. Make her more interesting, damn it.
New video.
yeah. I did want to bring that up though. It doesn't seem like this video factors in the tightrope you have to make when doing a fighting game sequel. You want to change enough to make it fresh, but not too much to keep it familiar, but also keep things different enough so where you have reasons to go back and play the original. If it doesn't turn out the way you do, it's not shocking it did.
Yeah, it's very complicated, and you just understand it, you know. Sometimes you don't really get mad at things like that. You're just like, damn, I really wish they did do it that way, but I understand, which just happens, you know.
I wish I wish Snake was changed in Ultimate, but they didn't, and you know what? It was a time concession. I can buy it.
I will not buy it for Ganondorf though. How dare you not give him the fucking tennis ball fucking blast attack. You guys are frauds. Frauds.
This is discussions we can make a whole podcast about.
Oh yeah, that is true. Hit me up. Hit me up and we'll do it.
Maybe someday, but as for now, let's continue this.
And a lot of these characters had tools that were designed around drift DI, like being able to drift into Rano's bubble or ladder combos you're intended to drift out of that you just can't do in this game. It genuinely feels awful to play these characters in an engine clearly not designed for them.
I could see that. Yeah, it just does feel like a consequence of porting a lot of the characters just raw, though. That can happen, yeah.
But the new universal mechanics do give characters new moves, so there's that. Every character has throws, which all seem fine. I don't mind them. There's some neat ones that like Raster chucking you off the ledge, but they're fairly standard for the most part. The main new appeals of the game and the new mechanics that are the selling point are the new specials. The ledge special, the get up special, and the pummel special.
Those are really cool. I love them.
I love them so much.
The ledge special and the get up special are context-specific attacks that interact with the character's gimmick somehow, but the other ones range from just glorified slow get-ups like Raster that add basically nothing to the kit, to actively bad like Crag pulling a rock in disadvantage. You can tell these characters were not made with these in mind, and a lot of them just don't do anything interesting with them. That said, that can be hard to do, as while you can taunt in the air to use a get-up attack when you land, they're still context-specific and not something you can do all the time.
Like a fighting game. What is that complaint?
What? I missed that. What you talking about?
Yeah, like a lot of tools in a fighting game. What's so weird about that?
You just explained how to do it whenever you want, by taunting in air.
Yeah, I think it's because some consequences. It's because some of the consequences that happen in Rivals in Rivals 1, they don't happen in Rivals. Or no, it's reverse. Some of the consequences that happen in Rivals 2 aren't going to happen in Rivals 1 because of how it's made. So that's why you would have the argument, or you would have the thing of like, well, why does it happen because of this? And it's like, I just think it's because new tools are happening. Now you have new things that you have to do, and you know you can't just put your face on the controller and mash all the way. You gotta your resources of defense will now be whittled down rather than you have a lot of defense as you are getting comboed and stuff like that. It's just a difference on investment. The investment now is that don't get hit now because it'll be a long string. When beforehand it's like where it's like you can get hit, but there are still ways to do it. It's just different. It's just different in that way. So that's why they probably feel like that.
Yeah, like, I should clarify, my tone was off, I apologize for that, but, like, it's like you can only use these things in content, like, specific situations, like, that's insanely common within, not just platform fighters, the fighting game genre as a whole. Like, yeah, there's always going to be those tools that are not very flexible. It's like, what's weird about that?
It's just weird. I don't like saying it as, like, a fighting game thing because too many games do it very differently. So it's like, they're getting mad at being punished, and it's like, let's calm that down. Let's remember that it's like being punished in one game versus the other game. Of course, you're gonna get mad at why one of them is being punished in one versus the other. So I think that's why. That's why I don't really criticize it too much, because it's like I don't think it's the fact that it's like you don't like fighting games and how they're designed. I think this is just like it's designed in a certain way beforehand, and now you have to get used to it. So it's off. It feels off.
I guess, yeah, like, again, I apologize for my tone, but, like, when I first heard that, like, maybe it was just worded weird, but, like, again, like, it's very situational, but you have to do it in a get-up state, and it's pretty common that not every tool you have is going to have a ton of flexibility, which in my opinion is good. If you make every tool too flexible or too, like, too expansive in every situation, it can get overwhelming and kind of becomes a mess.
Yeah, it should act, because, like, I think they complain about like being able to tech a lot of times, like for a lot of moves like jabs and things like that. But I feel like that just helps you, honestly. If a lot of your resources are getting down, but you can still tech, at least you have a decision that you can make rather than you have nothing now. So honestly, like, complaining about teching more, it's like, nah, I wouldn't I would be like, thank you, because it's like, not only did you give us these defensive tools, but now there's still even more ways to go. It's not free. Like, I could still get baited for it, but at least there's something to come back. So I don't know.
It's called risk reward.
Yeah, risk reward. Yeah. What do you feel like is good for risk reward? So yeah, that makes sense.
And that leaves the Pummel special, which honestly is the most interesting new mechanic on paper. The only one who I don't think is all that impressive is Zetta, whose Pummel lights the opponent on fire, which is cool until you realize some of his throws already light people on fire, so it's only really good for, like, down throw tech chase setups. Still though, it's a really cool idea to make the grabs more expressive.
They're kind of spitting. They are kind of spitting with that. Like,
that is a completely fair criticism.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Why does my Pummel special burn, but I already burn with, like, the grabs that I do? It's almost like yeah, the 2% can matter, but, like, come on, man.
I get the complaint, yeah, but my retort is he's the beginner-friendly character, so his is more simple.
I was thinking about that too. Then it's like it's a beginner character, so maybe you don't want to add in a bunch of linguistic stuff. Maybe you want to keep simple. But I kind of agree. I kind of agree with this. I'll be honest. I kind of agree.
No, I get it. I see that. I see the point.
Thoughts on this is maybe, like, have Pummel special, have them lit on fire longer, so there's more.
If it doesn't do that already, that seems like a good idea.
All right then.
If they don't, that is a good suggestion, I think.
Yeah, and I want to just, like, clarify, like, a lot of this video seems to very much just be complaining about the intricacies of the balance while the game is in its beta state, and I don't think that's really a great idea, considering the game, it's in its beta state. Like, how many day one, like, impressions or meta predictions end up panning out?
Well, they're
Shouldn't
gonna.
really care about balance until we've had a tournament after the game is officially out.
Well, I think it's more so that they're gonna talk about it now, but it's more of a prediction of what can happen, and it could happen. But I don't know. With a lot of Rivals 2 tournaments that are happening, a lot of the I don't really see them as much. Shields and Ledges like slowing down the game. It's like I don't think so. I don't. Well, I see people get like baited a lot because it's like you have the shield now, so now you can't just throw buttons at me and like expect nothing to happen. Or even if you escape, it's like at least I'm free to do stuff. So it's like I get where they're coming from. I just think that I don't know. I just think that it could be a little more said, maybe a little bit more thinking about things. Because it's a new game now. It's a fucking new game now. It makes sense.
Question on shields. Do you guys know if the shield stun is high?
The shield stun isn't as high as like Smash 4 where you can like put a shield up and immediately grab someone. There's definitely like a lot of aerials that you can put on shield you can't like immediately grab. Like there's a lot of times where you'll hit someone with an aerial and then you'll run back. So it's kind of in the middle where there's just enough where some things can be safe, but if you invest into a really big move, it's like you're gonna get punished.
Okay, so it's kind of like the modern Smash titles, though, where there's not very many things that are plus on block, but it's usually like -4, -6 kind of frame data.
Yeah, like for
Like neutral on block.
yeah, like there's
That's fine.
like not to bring it up again, but yeah, like some really high investment moves, yeah, you're gonna get punished. But if it's not that big deal of investment, then you can probably run away, but you're probably gonna have to do neutral again. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a point against the shields don't really work in Rivals 2 point, though. It's like, yeah, like it creates the whole dynamic behind how you respond to like block stun or anything like that.
It might be the reverse. They're working too much.
I do have a question on shields. Is there any like up strong out of shield or up B out of shield?
From what I've been told, you have to jump and then input it.
That's kind of weird, but okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, a decent amount of platform fighters don't let you automatically up B out of shield. It's if you have tap jump on in the Smash titles, though, you don't notice it. But if you don't, then you have to do that extra execution step. I don't really like that, but whatever.
I mean, like, in at least in the recent ones, up B out of shield is like an intended mechanic. There is less.
I actually think it's like you let go of shield and then you do it. It's
No,
it,
it's in
like I think in some
in a
games
game
like
like
Smash
Ultimate,
Ultimate you can jump,
you can
right?
no in a game like Smash Ultimate, you can hold up while you're shielding and then press special and it'll work.
Really?
Yeah, same with up smash.
I think because I know you can do up smash automatically. I think like you can't do it normally if you have your shield up, but if someone hits your shield, you can then up B. I think that's how it works. I haven't played Ultimate in a while.
I don't think so. What I remember is you can just do up B out of shield and it's an intended mechanic.
Is it? Let's see. Let's find out right now. Let me boot up my Switch. Okay, no. Anyway, but yeah, I get, but yeah, I get you. Back to the video.
But there's something I genuinely don't understand about this mechanic that, unless I misunderstand, makes it kinda useless. The grabs have a mechanic like Killer Instinct's Breaker system, where if you can guess whether the opponent will use a normal or special pummel, you can cancel their grab and reset to neutral. The relationship between the normal and special pummel is so skewed, there's no reason to not guess the special pummel, as taking a few extra percent is almost always preferable to giving your opponent a win condition.
Yeah, I talked about this. They're predicting that everyone's just gonna go for special pummels, and as I said before, if you're only going for special pummels, then you're getting predictable. You're getting no throws.
Yeah, I actually think it's the opposite, where it's like because this thing is because if it was spread out on how I used to feel differently in like my Rivals 2 video, but it because it's so good, there's actually like incentive or like a way to like pretty much break it a lot. And now this is more based on a prediction rather than anything else. Because if everything was good on each other and it was just the same, then it would really feel like a 50-50, 30-30, shit like that. But because it's very strong, your notion is gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna just press B, and if they press something different, well, then they get a combo, I guess. I actually think it goes the opposite way, personally.
That's what I was thinking. It was made up strong in the better option on purpose.
Yeah, like they purposely like made one option better to add that little bit of doubt of, all right, I'm gonna do special all the time, but I can also regular pummel. Am I gonna do this or that? So the dynamic like doesn't really change. It's still a 50-50. Am I going to try to trick you or go for the obvious strong option?
Like it's the same with the game that they brought up. Killer Instinct is exactly this. It's like, are you gonna go with the easy combo that puts them in like a state where they're gonna keep guessing every single time that they get hit, or are you gonna be the mad lad, do the big ass combo and hope they don't press medium or heavy and you just fucking wreck their whole soul? I think this is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and there's also, we already talked about this, but the regular pummel gives you access to chain grabs.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
So, is it really the strongest option then?
The way I had assumed this mechanic would work is that you could do the pummel first, then the special to mix up the opponent and get the special, but you can't do both in one grab.
That would be cool, though, but I can understand why they didn't do it.
It would be cool, but because it's not a traditional fighter, windows of opportunity in order to do that aren't as... I think it would feel very bad. Because like in a traditional fighter like Killer Instinct, predicting the medium, light or heavy is like, it makes sense because you have these options and you have way more stuff and it's not as loose as platform fighters. But because you have platform fighters like this, like if you could do that and then also do the side special or things that you can do, it'd be kind of weird because it's like you get so much off of one and then you're just going to use the other option anyway. Like it could be cool. I would just want more stuff to help you out in defense if we're going to do shit like that. I would just want more.
Loxodon is a heavy brawler like DDD who can deal out serious damage with his attacks.
Heavy brawler like DDD? DDD's not a brawler.
He's more of a sword fighter, honestly.
I'm not even stuck up on that. I just don't know if they do actually take... Like, I think maybe... I would put it more on Loxodon, I guess, because I would put it more on Loxodon because the grounded... I don't think it's charcoal. I think it's molten lava. The grounded molten lava is kind of better for him because it's really tech-heavy in this game. So if they meant it like that I can agree with. I just have no information on Fleet, so I don't know if that's true. But maybe they're right. I have no idea.
Maybe, though, but, like... I played a little bit of Loxodon, though. He's a lot of fun, and honestly, he feels more like Ganon than DDD, in my opinion. Like,
I would agree.
It looks like a hybrid, honestly.
Yeah.
Kind of does, yeah. Like, the two-handed big weapon.
He's Ganon's Fur Affinity account.
Oh, my God. Fur Affinity... Wait, what would be the furry... Would you still say furry for an elephant?
Yeah. What?
Alien?
Oh my God! Are we gonna put this up where it's like, no, it's water, so it's a scaly? It's like, are we really doing this?
Comment. Tell us which one you think it is.
I instantly regret asking that question.
Oh, great! Thank you for doing this to me.
Okay,
don't worry, we need more engagement.
All of this spawned because you said DD was a heavy brawler.
As for Fleet, I just don't get her quite yet, which is a shame. I think a lot of her normals feel incredibly good, and I love her float, which feels very intuitive and easy to use. Her gimmick is the stamina meter, which she can spend to enchant her arrows. While enchanted, her arrows will attach a time bomb to the opponent that will explode after some time. The opponent can hit Fleet to give the effect back to her, so it has some interesting counterplay. The issue comes in with trying to refill that stamina. She can do it through 3 ways. One is landing her Pummel special, which will drop items on the ground that she can pick up. This is unreliable, but it works. The second is her Get Up special, which spawns a stamina item if it makes contact with the opponent. Third, if she tries to use stamina without having any, she'll do a several second long animation where she eats an apple, giving her her stamina back. This makes her resource economy very limited, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay, I'm not that focused on the balance, but like that scene's perfectly fine. There's some setup time behind it. It's not free like Diddy's Banana or Cloud's Limit, but like you have plenty of ways of accessing it, and it takes a little time, but you still have ways.
I love weaknesses in fighting games in general. I think they provide a lot of.
Are you gonna make a video on that?
Why must you do this to me? Why must you pressure me so much?
It's in the video now.
Okay. So
Do everything. Give us the moon.
I will provide the moon soon, shortly. But I like weaknesses in fighting games. I think they make matches very interesting. And what I mean by weaknesses, I don't mean like everyone has a +5 hit and I have a -3 hit. And I'm like, that doesn't really make anything very interesting. That just makes like an ass character like just worse than everybody. When it comes to this sort of weaknesses makes it so that it kind of reminds me. I know it's very out there, but like Resident Evil, like the old games where it's like you have to really manage your resources and everything is like very, very brutal. And if not, then you have to focus on like the things that you already have when it comes to your neutral, your aerials and things like that. So when you're less in that style, like you won't lose the match, but you're definitely not well off. It actually makes it very interesting because it makes you want to do special pummel, and it lets you get prone to get baited by people by them pressing B also. I think the weaknesses that Fleet has actually makes her more interesting, to be honest with you. So it's like it might feel bad to play, but when it comes to like people looking at the matches, people really like people just random people just looking at Rivals 2 and how like understanding that the Fleet player needs to put a lot in order to get that W. I think it makes it better, honestly. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't play Fleet in this game, so maybe it's like maybe it is too much and I'm just not noticing. I think the weaknesses are pretty cool, and it makes exciting, dynamic gameplay to me.
Yeah, like even in like the simplest like interactions, like oh, you just knock your opponent off stage, and instead of edge guarding them, you just go up and refill your stamina. It's like there you go. There's a reason to go for it. It's like I don't know. To go for it.
You make it so that you desecrate your disadvantage or your advantage in order to keep on going. Like that's pretty cool.
It's a trade-off, yeah.
That's a pretty common thing in like platform fighters, like knock your opponent off stage with Samus and like charge shot.
Well,
That's
I would
normal.
I would have it be I would think it's different because it doesn't really like her charging versus not charging isn't as impactful as like Fleet having these resources in order to do additional things, or else you're only put on the base things that you have. But I know what you're saying.
So like compare it to like Hero, you like
exactly. I would people that makes sense.
Her wind arrows also feel really unintuitive in general, as there's no rhyme or reason to what attacks apply the wind stacks. It seems like it's just attacks with the bow, like down special, forward strong, and back throw, but moves like forward throw, down throw, and down strong all use the bow, but just don't apply this effect.
I don't know like the specifics around that, but taking Zetta's word for it though, yeah, just a little indication like that would be nice, just for clarity.
I want this game to succeed and continue to push platform fighters as a genre, but I want it to do so in a way that can push the narrative away from just being a Smash clone and can stand on its own. And this seems like a step in the wrong direction.
Listen, you told me that I was gonna be a little harsh for this video, but honestly, there's a lot. There's a. Oh no, not you. No. Not you. It was Waffleman. It was honestly not bad as I thought that I was gonna be. I actually agreed with like a lot of them. I just think that we just gotta realize that neutral is different in this game, so you're getting punished by different things, and it's like things like that. It's not really. They're not awful people. It's just I think we just gotta understand that. The neutral in Rivals 1 is still there, and it's very different compared to every other traditional fighter. And Rivals 2 is trying to be a traditional fighter now, so of course it's gonna have these things. And I would honestly say, guys, you should learn to appreciate shields. You should learn to appreciate ledges. Learn to appreciate some of the defensive things that are here. They're very cool. They're very good. They're very nice. I don't know what else to say. It's like, don't take them shits for granted. It's the reason why I don't really want to play Rivals 1 right now. I want to play Rivals 2. It has shields. It has ledges. Just be appreciative. Be appreciative. A little bit. Just a little bit.
No, yeah, I get you. Like, I don't like this video. I really don't like it. But I think it's just because, like, I refuse to accept people who poorly convey their opinions or speak in absolutes, which, yes, is how the internet is, but it doesn't mean I have to like it.
I did it in my past video. I understand.
The thing is like, here's the question. Do you just want the same game again, or
No.
something completely
No.
new?
MC has talked this about me. And I think I know what Rivals people want. Rivals people want more shit to do in Rivals 1, but it's enhanced. So like the graphics are a lot more enhanced, and that's like base level. But like the second level is like, what if we added stuff like, instead of like maybe like air DI or like you get hit for it, that now it's like either now it's like maybe it's like you press a certain button, and if you press the same button as the opponent, it's now like an air block where you push them away. Or maybe it's like a burst now. It's like if you want aggression, if you want aggression to keep going, you want like a single thing move to like put people back to neutral so that we can get aggressive again. So I think that's what people want. I think people that like Rivals 1 and wanted it improved, they don't want shields, they don't want ledges, they want new stuff in order for the aggression to be to be a lot more multiplicited. So I think that's what players want. And I could talk about that with MC, because I'm pretty sure he can word it better than me, but I'm pretty sure that's what people want with Rivals 1. And since Rivals 2 isn't that, it's fair to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I get that. I mentioned this before, but like the whole dilemma of making a fighting game sequel, of trying to fit that perfect blend of being familiar but still new, but not too new. It's like there's always going to be a lot of people you're dissatisfied. There's always going to be the fans who don't want things changed. There's going to be the people who want too many things changed, and then there's going to be the fan base that expects an in-between but still doesn't vibe with it.
Smash 6.
Oh god, don't even get me started on that, but but yeah, overall, I don't care for the video, but to clarify, I'm not telling you to go out and harass Zetta, and vice versa. I'm not saying Zetta is wrong in everything. I just kind of think that Zetta, at least in the context of the video, didn't really get the perspective of where Rivals 2 is coming at from a sequel.
Yeah, especially since, again, me and MGG already talked about it before, but we like footsies, so them doing it like this is pretty up our alley, I think.
Yeah. It brings up the conversation of like, people just want aggression good, rush down good, and like now in like traditional fighters, people are kind of sick of aggression.
Yeah, Street Fighter V, NASB 1 were big examples.
Well, when you put in a mechanic that gives you aggressive tactics, every other fighting game makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, Leah. It's like, people have been like, they've been burnt way too much, though, by zoning or defensive play. They just always want interactions, and then there's such a thing as too much aggression or too much interaction. It's like,
Yeah, I get it. I feel there is a balance to all this.
Fighting games are hard. Why do we focus so much time on them? Let's just give them up, though, and go play something else.
Because they're so interesting. They're so interesting.
Kart racers. Just make competitive kart racers instead.
Just focus on making games fun. Put Drift GI, not because it's balanced, but because it's fun. That's why I want it back. Put wall jumping out of a beat back because it's fun.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Don't put Drifty Eye. Do what I said. Make it like Killer Instinct where someone hits you with a button, like either a special or like a neutral aerial. If you pick the same button, you fucking push block that shit. Make shit interesting. Make that shit fun.
I feel like that would have a lot of buffered forward airs come out.
Well, then you have to change like the timing on like how you do the forward. It allows for more hits done, but like, okay, I slightly delay it. You didn't get it this time. Sucks to be you, nerd.
Listen, I'm just glad that we're now not in the dark ages, and there's a lot of platform fighters going out right now. There's stick figures, combo devils. There's way more that I haven't said, but I'm just glad that at least if videos like this came out, at least there's options for them. And that's honestly pretty cool.
We are in the renaissance of platform fighters.
I would say
as
so.
we speak.
Now let's just hope all the big ones don't fail.
True. I think Multiverses will do fine now. I think so.
Yeah,
It will.
probably will.
Rivals 2, I think, is going to do fine.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Well,
Please don't fail
Nasby
Combo
3 do
Devils.
fine, though.
NASB 3 will I hope so. I'm ready. I'm ready to give him $70 again. I'm ready. I'm ready to shill for this game again.
Sentinels don't fail. It probably won't fail, but I mean, it could still fail. Actually, I don't know the developers.
I don't know. Oh yeah, Sentinels Inc. Yeah, please. I hope all these things.
Forget about Pummels.
There's so much,
Fun
man.
as hell, it looks like.
There's
Also,
so
there's
much.
Framemakers.
Framemakers don't fail either. Like, it's fun.
They gotta frame. Framemakers gotta make a game first.
And also update FS2.
Oh my god. What a
Basically, the main idea is work, slave.
give up.
That's what we learned today. Slaves gotta work.
Give up.
Fucking
We watched your video and we loved it. It was the best video ever. No points were wrong whatsoever. It was 100% on point factual, and you are wrong if you disagree with it. Go to the gulag, slay. Okay, no.
And also, Burst should be in every platform fighter.
I love how he was not here until the very end. That was amazing.
He finally arrives at
alright.
the post-credit scene.
Okay, all right. Did you guys also think the video was ass? Because I thought it was
I didn't
ass.
like it,
Oh,
no.
that's
Oh,
interesting.
I did not like it. There was a few things that I did agree with though, but I understand where you're kind of
Yes.
coming from.
It's okay. Listen, this is why I fucking hate because they say shit like this.
He's already.
I think Zetta did say like she was a workshop player. I don't know.
But the problem is she is a workshop player. Like
There you go. There's your problem
she-
right there. Now the video sucks ass.
You can't say that,
Change
Garfield.
this in the video software.
Don't do workshop.
Oh, you better believe I'm cutting this shit off.
I still have my side of the recording.
I'm-
upload it in the back alley. You will pay. Give me $50 right now. Okay, no.
Exactly. Like
If it works out on your end, though,
I already think like we were a little mean in our video. If you think that I'm gonna say I'm cutting it now. I'm cutting it now.